Okay, live once again. Adjust this damn thing. Had some issues. All right, so we're here at Koba's lair, and don't have anybody yet. All right. So I decided to do an impromptu chat because any of you that watch the channel know that I just posted a video talking about, hey Joe, how's it going? Uh, the feedback. I put up a video a few weeks ago asking for feedback from my subscribers and viewers, and I went through it all and got it. And I asked about lives. There were a few people that mentioned uh, the live broadcast, but mostly, I guess everybody was into. They said they would like to see more of Mil-surp guns and black powder. Which I have a few originals, but the vast majority, like 90% of them, are all Italian repros, and we go out there and shoot a lot of Civil War era weapons, which is fun. It is a lot of fun. Very relaxing. Other than going out there and dumping one mag after the other and burning up like $100 worth of ammo, you know, kind of get your blood pressure down and that. But I was going to wait until we get some more people here. We're pretty early into it. I have a couple announcements to make. Like I said, when I put that video out, um, asking the subscribers, because really it's like the title of this video, I'm not finding anything. A note in MeWe. I don't. Something happened with my PayPal, and I can't pay my monthly thing to MeWe, so all my things are done. My MeWe accounts are closed, and I have no way of uh, paying my fees or monthly fees or something. I haven't been on there. It was over a year that PayPal closed my account. Um, Go to my Rumble. If you want to contact me, go to my Rumble channel, and you can put something there, or I will try to give you an email that you can contact me. I got several other ones because of the problems I had. We're putting my email out and just getting all these insane requests for gun parts and people demanding that they wanted this and wanted that. And I couldn't really do it at the time because of some issues I had going on. And that's why I kind of stopped answering the one email, is because of that. I just, you know, I tell people, hey, look, I have other issues. I do other things other than just cater to YouTube and the subscribers. I have had real world problems. And it's just like and you explain it to them nicely. And, then they give you this reply, well, I got money. It's not like I don't have any money. And it's like, that's not the point. You're asking me to do something I can't do. Okay. It's not about your financial status or if you have money or if you're willing to pay. If I can't do it, I can't do it. Kind of simple. Okay. And I'm done arguing with friggin' people. I'm retired. I don't deal with that shit no more. Uh, yeah, I mean, it catches up with people. These are not good times, okay? No matter how you look at it. Politically, the economy sucks, inflation's crazy. I just uploaded my video today about how, the reloading crisis, is it getting worse, and is inflation, really hammering people down, okay, on this. I mean, it's impossible to buy anything to just reload. Okay, the whole point of reloading was if you, if you competed or just like to shoot a lot. I mean, yeah, some people, that hunt, usually when you hunt, you don't expend hundreds of rounds of ammo. And there are people that reload specifically to have loads to hunt with. But, when you compete, like I said, I used to shoot trap. I used to load cases and cases of 12 gauge shotgun shells. Because if I went to an event and fired singles, handicap, and doubles, that's 300 shotgun shells I used that afternoon just to run the event. Okay. Times that by 5, or, I used to go to sometimes in the summer 2 events. So that's like I'm using up 600 shotgun shells a month times 4 or 5 months, that adds up. And then practice. You're always out there practicing, just like any other sport. So there's ones that aren't registered. Okay, just the ones practicing, I'd go through. I'd go out on an afternoon or something and just shoot 100 rounds, just practicing, you know, every other week or something. So, yeah, it's to where you can't afford it, can't afford reloading, and it's not good. And things aren't looking good for anything all the way around. Okay, we had this political debacle where Trump, no matter where he goes, no matter what they do to him, he's winning. Okay, and I don't know. And with inflation and the cost of everything, I don't even want to go there. Okay, I'm going to be working on some brass for my 8mm Matura. That's kind of, somebody asked me about that. And without a rifle and without chamber castings, it's somewhat like the Graf, and I forget what it is. The bullet diameter is a little bit different. Uh, that's going to be a tough one to do because you're either going to have to form Gra, and the only Gra cases you can get are from Bertram. I mean, you can try to make something out of something, but it's not the same. Okay, as getting the cases from Bertram, because what I did is I just gave up, bought the cases from Bertram, and that's what I use in my Gras when I fire them. Of course, I went with a paper patch bullet and the black powder load, and it does work well, better than anything else you can shoot in there. Some guns, the Gra and the Russian Baradin, you kind of have to use a paper patch bullet, and you kind of have to use black powder because smokeless powder does not have the same effect as the full black powder charge. Okay, that's a compressed black powder charge. Okay, that's not an easy cartridge to get to shoot. You can try to circumvent and use different bullets, techniques, and that, but it's a tough one. So Matsura, that was a gun I wanted to get, but the prices on them, that's a little bit out there. IMR powder, yep, for 8-pound keg, it's close to $500. It's footing the bill for the current conflicts. What it is like when we're looking at Starline. Okay, if you look, all their cowboy western stuff, the brass they make is on permanent back. There's not on back order, just not making it. They get that red dot. They're not making it. You can't put a order in. There's no back order, no nothing, and it can be years before they start making it again. But if you look, every damn thing that's 9mm, 9mm Mac, 9mm Largo, I think other than Steyr, I think Steyr or whatever, and any of the 9mm Lugers or whatever. Okay, so what they're doing is they're not changing their tooling on the main machine, okay, to make something other than 9mm. which if 9mm is in high demand, both commercial and militarily, okay, that's where they're making the money. A lot of people say that the powder manufacturers, which are a chemical corporation, uh, are better off or are leaning more towards producing propellants and things needed for wartime production as per, because I forget what the market share is. I think it was 25% of their output is sent to, uh, it would be small ammunition manufacturers. There's several of them out there that manufacture ammo. They're small operations. I think Steino may be one of them, something like that. That's not a major thing like CCI or Hornady. Um, so out of that 25%, 12 and a half goes to places like that that are consumers, but not super high end consumers. All right. And then the other part of that production, the other 12.5%, goes to the commercial market or what you see on a shelf when you go to a retailer or an online uh, component place like Grafs and Sons. When you buy a 1 pound bottle or 4 or 8 pound, that's only 12.5% of the total production a year, which for a while, I guess it was good. But I think they've cut that down to where it's kind of like they'll make some for a year, and there's been 2 years with nothing. So the minute it comes out, everyone goes crazy and buys it. And then it'll be another year for you find that brand of powder again. Okay. And, truthfully, some powders just don't replace my favorites. Okay. Well, it's sort of like it, or it's kind of, I'll go pretty much where you want it to go within, that much or that much, which for hunting a deer or something is fantastic. And anyways, you're not sitting there on a bench like target shooting. You're wandering around outdoors and an animal pops up, you're taking a snapshot anyway at them. So really, 2-3 inch groups are good for hunting large animals, at a close range. So, yeah, okay. Was the local reloading shop and said they had some powders and were going to be in $70 range. Okay, so that makes sense. That's why when I'm paying for an 8 pounder, it come out to $58 a pound with an 8 pounder. So yeah, that'll calculate if you get 1 pound. That's the reason you buy an 8 pound keg. Consumer bent over the barrel. Yeah, there's no way to change it. There's there's no way to change this. Like I heard this company was going to be manufacturing primers, and they're going to have a major company open up and just manufacture primers and this, and then again, same thing. The people who originally started it ended up selling this or some strange thing, and then this and that, and this company was run into the ground and didn't no longer function. Okay, so was it done deliberately? It's kind of like everyone says, like the Braco or the Jennings firearms. It's a small pocket gun. It was made here in the States. It's the same design. And it doesn't matter what name those guns go under, and that company has gone bankrupt many times over. It's the same damn gun, no matter what name they put on it. It's just who owns it, who gets bankrupted, and then the name changes again. Because that's the Saturday night special deal that everyone hates. And I believe the guns are still made by some other company's name now, And if you want a real inexpensive gun made out of pot metal, which, but they do work, okay, much better than the Skies or anything with a plastic frame, That's the strange thing about it. Let's see what we got. Bought a banana box full of reloading power bullets. Yeah, but See, I see that stuff. Anything that's been opened and old. Now, granted, I bought primers that maybe are 40 years old, and they've all gone off and they've worked. But powder, you don't know. You don't know if the guy dumped something in there. You don't know if it's contaminated. I never buy powder. There's people that do. I seen a bunch of it at a gun show I was at that were, half or whatever. Must be the person just gave up and sold it all or passed away. But I never buy that stuff. Too much of a risk. Or if people send me powder that's open, and even though it says I had a can, if you look at when I was getting all them gifts, I had a can of some IMR powder. It looked like it, but I mean it was full right to the top, which that's not how that stuff comes in them metal cans. And the metal cans, number one, metal cans already. You're talking 30 years ago. Okay, so have no idea, don't know if that's it, no way to tell for sure. Obviously, somebody filled that can with something. Is it the real powder or isn't it? Well, that's the problem with it. And you don't know where it's been stored. I asked people, like with this ammo, I had a bunch of ammo. I said, was this stored inside the house, not inside like a tool shed? Because the temperature differences and moisture and shit and everything is going to screw the ammo up. And it was good quality ammo, but that stuff, they stored it in a shed. It was real rough. It went off. You could tell it was breaking down. It was exposed. And again, it was 20-year-old ammo from the box. Been sitting on a garage shelf exposed to the elements, at least not moisture, but enough moisture to where it could screw it up. A bad idea. Yeah, they're not guns. Uh, you know. Yeah, see, like you said with the powder, some of the stuff you get, I have no idea what it is. I don't use it. I got some I bought and tried. I got partial cans or bottles, whatever you want to call it, of them. But yeah, reloading components it's a nightmare. But I see we got some people here, so I might as well start. The reason I brought this up is going back to my other video asking the subscribers and supporters, and I know all your names. I see you all the time on all my live uh, streams or whatever the hell you call them. I asked people about these, and then I said, what else do you want to see? And the number two answers were they want more Mil-surp and they want more of the black powder, which, like I said earlier, 90% of them are replicas, but I do have one or two original pieces that I do shoot from time to time. People ask about flintlocks. I think I got two of them. An old English doglock musket from Charles Daly, was it? He passed away. He built that for me. And I have a Pedersoli French 1777 musket, which it was actually the first video I made on YouTube was firing that thing. Should get them out some nice summer afternoon and shoot them. Talk about them and that. So, people ask for me to make content along those lines. And there was a suggestion from a younger person or something or someone there that said, hey, why don't you have live chat on Mil-surp guns with some of these other people out here on YouTube? And the one guy that's doing a lot of work and has a nice channel is Readiness Review. They actually suggested, why don't you get a hold of Readiness Review and like have a chat where I can have everyone involved in a chat, and we can do like question and answer for people on Mil-surp or and it's again, I need people to participate because how long are you just going to sit here and stuff comes out of your mind? Okay, I got to have somebody commenting and feeding the discussion or asking a question or making a comment. It's the whole point of the matter. So you lose your mind. So I tried contacting the fellow that runs that there. Um, and I found his Facebook page. He has a Facebook page like mine. And I sent him a message and I said, hey, I'm the guy who runs the Cobra 49 channel. Some of my subscribers suggested we get together and do a live chat and talk about mill surplus guns. And I said, what do you think about it? It was a couple weeks ago. He hasn't gotten back to me because, probably like me, he has a Facebook channel that he never checks, and I don't. I find all kinds of messages and stuff there that are 6, 7 months old and that. But so if any of you fellas got a way of contacting him, put something in his suggestion, or maybe this week I'll try contacting him through sending something into a comment or something, and tell him to give me a shout out and talk to him uh, about that. I wanted to ask him. And curiously enough, I did this, and this is the thing that's strange. And also, in the description box, there is a link to joining my membership. We'll talk about that in a little bit. There is a link to the Readiness Review channel and another channel, the Battlefield Curator. Because after my attempt to contact Readiness Review, I was contacted by the Battlefield Curator, who I have connections with him on both Facebook and I've watched his channel a lot. He does a lot of mill surplus guns. He does a lot of reviews of stuff that's out there and that. So he's pretty good. But he approached me, and what he ended up asking me is, would I agree to an interview? Okay, this is good. This is not a lie. I'm talking about an interview. Coffee's getting cold. He asked if he could travel to me, sit down with me, and interview me. And this would be something he posts on his channel. Basically, well, I guess if they can interview Vladimir Putin, they can interview the Cobra 49. So, yeah, what the hell? I got nothing to lose from it. So, but he asked, and he said he wanted to come down and have a interview, specifically and mainly talking about Carcano rifles and ammunition, or Carcano rifles itself. That would be the main reason of the interview, and that's what we would discuss. And talking to him, I'm like, do you want to see examples from my collection or whatever? And this, so it's something that was brought up to me. The individual did contact me, and I told him we'll work on this because when he wanted to do this isn't anything soon. He said, I'm just asking you, and I'll see if I can schedule it, about 3-4 weeks from now. But then there's a problem. I have a sort of a medical procedure to have done about that time. So that may delay it for a month or so because I have to go have some surgery done. So, but this is in the works. And in the meantime, I said, before we do the interview and where we have to meet in person, would you care to do a question and answer live or stream with me? Because several people have asked, they would mind if you do a stream. I said, that way, if you have some time, you don't have to travel or anything. We can just put you up there. And granted, we can't handle firearms during the live broadcast, but we could field questions and have an open debate and discussion with the people who come to the chat room or whatever you wish. So let me see what we got here. Yes, risk of ammo. It did explode. Okay. Yes, so you bought some reloads that weren't quite right. Yes, because the Arisakas are made out of steel. That okay. What about charging loads from homemade black powder and smokeless mix? Early transitional cartridges. Well, okay. What do you mean by mixing? You can't mix black powder with smokeless powder. Okay, that's not to stretch resources. And homemade black powder, is black powder. The only thing I've ever fooled with is it's called a duplex load, where you have a small smokeless thing in the bottom of the case and it burns the black powder. But I would not do it with homemade black powder. Okay, you can do it. A lot of people do it, make it, use it. Okay, it's just something, Carson. I really don't need to screw with, because when making your own, you have to blend it, get it right, get the process down right. There's a lot that can go wrong. Okay, and with my hands and my age and everything, I really don't need to venture that. But you know, you can put that out on your channel and see what people come up with. Uh, but there is no way of charging lows homemade by smokeless mix. You don't mix it. There's just duplexins putting a little pinch of smokeless in the bottom to ignite the black powder. Yes, that's true. Yeah, duplexing. And really, you're not saving much, because you just change 7-10%. You still need the smokeless powder and duplex powder, and that really only works. Duplexing does not work well in a bottleneck cartridge. And straight wall cartridge like 4570, 5070, and that stuff, it'll work all right. But something about when you get in a bottleneck starts doing really weird stuff. And that's why I made some videos on it, but I'd stay away from it. You either go all the way with black or do a smokeless charge. All right. Yeah, and like I have zero experience with homemade black powder. Okay, a lot of the stuff you buy off the shelf is different. Okay, the shoots and powder is way different than Swiss, and probably the best all-around black powder for anything you use would be the hell is it? Goex. I can't even I can't even remember anymore. I got so much on my mind. Okay, so in the comment section, okay, if you guys like this idea of me having an open discussion and getting these other channel guys up on here, say Battlefield Curator, he's a pretty cool guy. He knows what he's talking about. Um, and the reason they asked about readiness review is he's actively out there scanning gun shows and getting an idea on value, prices, and situation, and what a lot of these companies are offering, because he does a lot of reviews of buying stuff from places that I wouldn't even bother anymore, like Hunter's Lodge and all this other stuff. He gives you a pretty honest, accurate description of what the hell's going on, what the cost is. So, if you're current, if you want somebody current, he's way more current than me, because the combination of the mill surplus market, the economy, okay, all right, everybody's in a pinch. There's very few people out there that have a lot of excess money to either buy guns or whatever, reloading components. Okay, so it's tough. And, honestly, from what I've seen, and a lot of it, like I said, this guy on Readiness Review, he does a bunch of shorts, which, that's something I'm dealing with too, is making shorts. But he goes and he's got the right thing. He goes to a gun show now. He's got to be doing like he's using his phone and filming, because any gun show I go to, you're not supposed to take pictures or video of anything. And if you kind of get caught doing that, they will ask you to leave the premises. So he must go there and he's just scanning and getting the prices. And what he shows you in there is exactly what I see locally where I am. It's no different. Okay. And it's the same everywhere. Okay, there's a fella, all he sells is Mil-surp, or used to. But he's branched out now where 75% of what he's got on his tables, and he has like 10 tables, about 70% of it is all brand new stuff. Okay, shotguns, 22s, pistols, he's got a whole array of stuff. Because, and he told me, I've known this man for years, and he goes around and buys up estates and everything. And he's had a lot of stuff over the years. And his prices, while I'd say a bit steep, it's kind of like I didn't want to buy a destroyer carbine because I thought his price was too high. And once they were sold like 5-6 years ago, he's never had another one pop up at any price. Okay, so that's the name of the game. And he told me about a year in the middle of the health crisis, he said, I just can't get any used guns, be it mil surplus or used shotguns at a reasonable price. He goes, so basically his mil surplus venue is kind of screwed. And anything on his table, they start in the $700 range and up. But granted, he has good stuff. He doesn't have a sporterized Carcano long rifle with a cut-off stock and the barrel bands all missing. Fortunately, they didn't chop the barrel or rip the sight off on this, but I see one on a gun broker, $900. Okay, it's a $150 gun max, because the way you do it is you buy the thing for $125, $150 at an auction, and you either use it for parts or you hang on to it where you can find it stock in a handguard, which is about as impossible as shit. Okay, it's going to be a long time. Or you take it apart, sell it for parts, or resell it, make 40-50 bucks and sell it to somebody who wants it more than you. Okay, that's how that realm of sporterized rifles go. Okay, let's see. Brain. I can tell you as a CNR seller that prices are dropping right now. Last 2 years, really good. High price sales. Now I get lowball offers all day long. It's right, because people don't have the money. And again, we have this thing, AR-15s. I know they're not mil surplus guns. AR-15s. They're $700. Then they had one shooting, and then they went up to $1,300-$1,500. Then 6 months went down, they dropped down to $500, and then so many more people were buying them. AR-15s go, I think I seen it last year in the summer, $395 for a generic gun. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with them. I've had them, I've built them, I've shot them. If you want an AR-15 it shoots, they're fine. And they're about $400. Okay, no frills, plain flat top gun. Okay, yeah, you can get some of this high-end custom made stuff with precision barrels and better parts, chrome lined bolt carriers and stuff. You can buy nice guns for around $2,000, the top of the line stuff. And Colt's still making guns. I think they're all over $1,000 or something. The only thing about Colt, the hardened finish on the Colts is what you're paying for. I don't think anybody replicates the grade finish that Colt does on their outside of the weapons. But yeah, the reason you're going to see this is nobody's going to buy a sporterized Carcano unless they're totally insane for $900. Okay, and if there were people impatient or for whatever reason that bought like World War II round receiver Mosin and Gantz for $1,000, I think the thing that I find most people don't understand is they don't understand what the hell they're buying. Okay. A finished civil guard rifle, which looks like a Mosin Nagant. If you don't understand the difference or the variations, a lot of people, you hold up a rarer 9130 type, some kind of rare variant that is worth $700-800, they think it's $100 gun. Okay, and I've gone to auctions and picked up some nice stuff, real cheap, because the people bidding on me are figuring they might be able to sell it for 300. Okay, and they stop at a certain point to where I just go another one and I pick up some nice valuable cheap, but that is on a rare occasion. And actually, it always happens to me when I go to the damn gun auction to buy something else, and this thing isn't even described right. Okay, in the auction description. So you do luck out. But like you said, yeah, nobody's taking. All right, you're selling. Okay, you're selling the stuff. Okay, so yeah, you're seeing people ain't paying it. The reason people aren't paying it because the economy's crashing. Okay, people just don't have money. Those destroyers are friggin' cool. Because of laws and no venue and black powers. Yeah, I like that one. What constitutes a low ball offer on a $300 Mosin's priced at yeah, because that happened to me. I went to a gun show. I went into a room, and already I knew the guy had a whole bunch of guns, and really there wasn't nothing in there Mil-surp. The only thing he had when I looked at this whole pile of weapons was he had a Spanish rifle, okay, in there, 93 of some sort. So I look at all this pile, and first thing, there's no price tags on nothing. Okay, so now you know it's going to be a damn monkey show here. So I go over, I look at the gun, I pull it out, and what it is, it's scrubbed. They took the markings off. Probably it was converted to 308 or 7.62 by 51, whatever the hell they call it. It's 308 Winchester. And the Spanish did that with a lot of their older guns. And someone told me that the Spanish military did that because that was what they were using in their modern battlefield rifles. That was the ammunition available. And when you go in the military, they give you marksmanship training. Like when I was in the Navy, we took indoors at Great Lakes, Illinois, 45 with a 22 caliber conversion. Okay, we didn't shoot 45 ACP. We shot 22s, a little indoor range. And if you hit the target and didn't kill nobody or shoot yourself, you were certified as good with a pistol. So he said the reason the guns are shot out is the recruits were given rifle marksmanship, fire that caliber at a target with these guns, and they use these weapons for training, which a weapon for training is different than a weapon issued to the troops. It may or may not get fired, where a training weapon is being fired all the time, every day, forever and ever until it's worn out. So a lot of those Spanish guns have totally wore out bores. That's the reason why. And when the Spanish did scrub them at a time when they reworked them, they took all the markings kind of off the receiver and they were selling them kind of covertly on the open market. So it couldn't really be tied to them. So of course, when I seen this, this is what this was. This was a gun from that post World War II period when they were converting them. And a lot of countries did that. They would take all the markings off the gun, okay, other than a serial number. So this thing just had serial numbers on a receiver, nothing else. And that's what it was. And it's not in the original 7mm caliber. So I picked this thing up and I look, and it's still got rifling. So it must have been one of these guns taken out of South America, Africa, or wherever the hell the Spanish sold it, that still wasn't shot out, like most of the ones that come out of Spain. Okay, so I said, all right. So I look at the guy and goes, oh, that's was made during the Spanish Civil War, and that's why there's no markings on it, and that because the rebels took over the factory and this and that and everything. And I'm like, he goes, which is total bullshit. Okay. So I said, okay, what are you asking for this rifle? Oh, $650 or something like that. And I'm like, thank you. And I set the gun. I'm trying, oh, make me an offer. Make me an offer. And it's like this person just said, okay, somebody's got $1,000 on a Mosin gun. Okay, that's a $300 gun. And it's like, people are giving me lowball offers. What the hell is a lowball offer? If I tell them I'll give you $300, then the guy's going to get pissed off, start screaming at me, then I'm going to be tempted when my blood pressure goes up to knock him on his ass, and then the shit flies. Okay, that's why it's best not to even bother. Colt. I'd just like to say, get surpluses. Yeah, selling off $500. Okay. Remember balking at Mosins. Yeah, I didn't buy one. I could have bought one for three and a half, but I mean that was 40 years ago, and I thought it was a lot of money. But now, I don't even know. Supply and demand too, poor condition. Well, a lot of them redone Mosins, they're rebored. I have to take some guns and redo the end of the barrel, recrown them, or if it's really screwed up, to counterbore them. There's nothing wrong with that, but like you said, as long as you're not paying that for a mint example, the Mosins were all out of the barrel $100. Okay, and that's true. But to have one that's counterboard and to say, hey, I want top dollar for it, to an example that isn't, that's not good. Can't go get depressed. Yeah, that's true. Wouldn't give an Arasaka or Carcano. That's right there. Yep, 30, 40 years ago, those guns were under $50. Okay. Arasakas I paid $10 for. So when somebody's telling me, I remember 20 years ago, they want $300 for one. I said, you're out of your mind. I guess they go for 600 now. And there's no real variation other than the date. There's some minor variations in the Type 99s, but other than the series and the dates, I've seen people pay over $1,000 because they were the first run out of the one company, the first set of, because I think they went to 100,000 or 10,000. It was 100,000, and then they changed designation up front and make another 100,000. And it's the same as uh, a 300,000 Arisaka. They all look the same. The wood's shit. The finish is just AK-47s of World War II. But if it makes you happy, you know. Yeah, but another thing too, what the hell are you making a week? $50. If you were spending 100 and a quarter, I'd go to the gun show and I might be able to buy two guns for around 100, and a quarter, or one for close to 200. Okay, I didn't go there with thousands in my pocket and like fill the back of the pickup truck with them either. And once you tied your money up in them, if you needed money, try selling the damn things. Okay. I mean, yeah, you might have paid $60 for them. You'd be lucky to find somebody to give you $60 for the damn gun just to get your money out of it. And a lot of people did not buy military weapons of that type. To them, it was junk because I think, for a little over $200, you could buy a nice sporting rifle. And most of the people, that's what they did, is hunt with it. Nobody liked hunting with like a Carcano with weird sights or Arisaka with that little pyramid thing on there. I know guys that did hunt with them and try sporterizing them, but the guns were really not that well made, like a Mauser or something, to warrant that. Let's see. Uh, Last year, traveled to Maine to visit Kerry Trading Post. Oh, world's largest gun store. So saw a lot of empty shelves. Yeah, because they're just not around. Up from a guy, it was only because someone loading it. The only reason. Well, I got one that's cut down. I shoot them. I got to dig them out too. I went and accumulated some brass, and I think I bought some of the 220 grain torpedo bullets. I like to get my Kriegs out and shoot them. Okay, commie, alcoholic commies. Yeah, because you're in the business of doing that. I know several people who are in the business of buying and selling the guns, and there is a point where for me to hold all this crap, I ain't got nobody to leave it to. In my family, they'll sell this stuff dirt cheap, so I might as well sell my things before I get either too incapacitated or meet, go on what do they call it, my eternal journey. All right, So yeah, if you got it, there's a lot of people out there with decent collections, and you do have to liquidate them at one point in time. So if you got a business doing that, that's a business. Okay, that's not more or less like, I don't know, maybe you collect two or something, but that is more the business end. See, I'm not buying the things to resell them. Okay, you know, it's kind of a little bit of a difference when it's business. Or 75. Yeah, the Mosins were dirt cheap when they come out. There are a lot of them. There's a lot. They stopped shipping them in. There's many more out there for $1,000. Yeah, 2010. Yes, that's true. There isn't a surplus. I think the Carcanos were the last thing you're going to see come in any quantity where it took 3 years for everyone to sell them out. It was a large amount of them. Yeah, because another thing too, you're talking back in the technology, bolt action guns, uh, they're not controlled like automatic weapons. There really isn't anybody fielding anything that is not a class 3 weapon. So even if they do sell, the only thing they'd sell is handguns are the only things you see come up surplus or that, and a lot of them are police, not so much military. But rifles and things like that, you're not going to see anymore because they're basically all automatic weapons. You might, and there's stuff all over, how good or bad it is. I don't know. I believe there's a lot of the Mosin Nagant still floating around out there. Situation to do imports, yeah, Russia ban. Well, if you remember, I just posted a video on it. A lot of people are going with just putting the 5.56 bullet on there. Okay. And the reason I had issues with it is when I tried that, I couldn't get it to feed. But I found out that uh, rifle has a problem with the magazine spring. And I can't really remember if I tried it in the long rifle because I got two guns that I kept by 8x50. Because some of the ones I had a long rifle and something else. They were really, really beat up, and I got rid of them. And I kept the two examples, the mint carbine and the long rifle that shot fairly well, had a good bore. The other two I had the bores with fulminated mercury in that. The bores were very, very bad. So it was not so much how the gun looked or how it was marked. It's I needed it to make the 8x50 ammo. That's another thing, guys. All the reloading stuff, you're going to have to be a member. It's $3 a month. They ain't a whole hell of a lot of money. And the videos where I show you how to form that step by step, the 8x50 brass, all that other stuff are going to be there. It's just the way the policy is. A lot of people, I give them recommendations on loading, or they just come up, they don't give any support, no comments, no nothing. They just say, hey, I want to know what the load data is for this thing you shot. Never hear from them. They never give any support. There's people, and the thing I don't like is there's a lot of people that send me a lot of support that don't ask me for a damn thing. Okay. And it's kind of unfair that you come after all the work I've done and just want the information and then never comment, add anything to the channel, show if it works for you, or anything like that. So yeah, I'm gonna work on an 8x50. I was thinking about getting a cast bullet, but if this works well with the standard PPU bullet, even though it's not a 250 grain, it's the 200, what is it, 208 grain. If that works, a lot of people, I've seen them out there doing it. Their videos are not as polished as mine, and they're shooting them out of these 1888 Austrian or Royal Tiger guns, which, one guy, he bought like three of them, Texas Cast and Blast. He bought three of them, and he had one that has more or less rifling down the whole barrel, and that's all he did. He made up a thing, shot it. I guess he shot a boar or deer or something with the gun. He got some soft point bullets on there, and he actually took one of them old Royal Tiger guns out and shot, I think, a boar, maybe a hog, or he may have shot a deer. I'm not quite sure, but he did go hunting with it. So, but he had to buy three or four of them to get one that could shoot somewhat. So that's how that goes. And that's the thing that makes me nervous is also when I just give out this information to somebody, and whenever I ask them, what is the bore on your rifle like? Okay, right there and then I know there's going to be an issue. Okay, because even if the stuff is safe, them wedge locks, them older Austrian guns, you get any type of, there's only a 1/4-inch pin holding that whole thing. And if that thing breaks, that bolt's coming straight out of that gun like a rocket in the side of your skull. Okay. And the things are 140 years old or something, 1888 or some shit. Okay. They got an acceptance stamp on them. I kind of don't like giving the information out either, because some people have showed me pictures of the guns they're trying to shoot, and I tell them don't do it. But there's a bit of a liability issue, and I don't want to say or do anything that gets somebody seriously injured or killed. Okay, that's the problem with it. But yeah, I am working on an 8x50, and matter of fact, if the weather gets better this week, I may be out shooting some of it, just giving a test run. And then I'll get into developing it to where you guys could figure out how to get some yourself. Or I may have to go with a cast bullet to mimic the long torpedo bullet. Don't know, but it's in the works. How even police trade-ins are to the moon. Yeah, they do. Read the market's dead. Check lock, stock, and barrel. It's an auction house. Yeah, well, lock, stock, and barrel, I did a whole video on it. I sold some of my stuff through them. It's probably the most honest way also to price your stuff. The reason is they're starting auctions off at a penny, and you're actually getting what the market bears realistically. Okay, because I can say like Polish P65. Okay, I got one. I want to sell it. I say, well, everybody's asking $600. What do they go for? Come to find out, but here's something also you guys gotta watch out for. Okay, I seen two of these things sell for $500. I seen somebody on a gun broker had them for about $475, which end up paying a shipping, handling, and a transfer fee. It's going to be about $500 and all the whole 9 yards. So I seen two of these things go for $500. I also seen the Nagant revolvers with the rig like I got go for $5, and one person told me I sold it to somebody for $450. So that's about the going rate. But a month later, P64s. I'm sorry, P64s. Two more come up. They only went for about $250, $300, which is $250 difference. And they were not beat up or screwed up. They were just like the other ones. So again, it's hard to fix. Like when people ask me, how much is my gun worth? It's hard to say that. I don't know. I know what I paid for the damn thing 15, 20 years ago. Excuse me. And when they come in now, the small batches, and they want 550, 600, you want one, go over there and pay $600 for it. Okay. I can't say I don't buy and sell firearms. I don't do that. I'm not current on that. I'm not constantly working on it. Actually, I haven't bought any Mil-surplus. That's why I'm making this video, because what's out there, if I haven't had it at one time, the price is to the point where to me, it's not worth it. Let me go over some of these questions here. The road. Okay, road. Yeah, I was looking at that damn thing. Actually, I'm working on my M95s. The magazine was missing. I tried fabricating one for it, that little metal thing in there. I do still have that gun. I have fired that gun. I'll dig it out, but I have not seen one of them come up one way or the other for a very long time. Yes, I seen that video of the blind sniper. Putting together. All right. Well, you see, you're asking me to do something. The reason I don't do the simpler calibers, Okay, the reason I got into the calibers you can't find, okay, is I did sell ammunition at local gun shows and that. Okay, you can get PPU ammo for, it was $20 a box. Now it's up to $30 a box in all of those military calibers, and it's good ammo. Okay, I can't reload a custom load for the price point that PPU does. So that's why I don't really do any of that other than just for myself. Okay, and I can make the videos. But then again, if I give you my pet loads for any of them, you're going to be a member and you're going to be donating to the channel, because it costs me money to figure out those pet loads. I just don't pick a load out of a manual and say, there it is. I develop them. And that's why I'm particular about the powders I use and everything else. And sometimes I have to go through 3, 4 different powders and expend over 100 rounds till I find a load that I personally like, okay, and would sell. The only time I made something unusual in those calibers is 7.57. I made a light load with a heavy bullet for the old Spanish guns. I made a light 8mm load that, was on 30-40 Craig levels, which I'm just assuming if a 30-40 Craig with one locking lug can handle it, an 88 commission rifle should be able to handle a 8mm load loaded to a 30-40 Craig level of pressure. Okay, and those were what I sold there. That's why I don't do that, because they're pretty simple loads, 303 and all that. And truthfully, like 7.7 Jap or the 7x57 in a 98 style Mauser, the 3030 or 303, if you just get the correct powder, and a lot of those cartridges will shoot excellently with several different powders. And any of the IMR powders, like Varget is really great in the 303, and that. And it's not that difficult just to develop your own load. That's kind of why I don't do a lot of those calibers. Okay, to me, it's not a challenge. It's just more time getting in, to do it. Okay, I mean, if you learn anything about reloading, you can look up a ton of loads, and you just got to go out there, load them, try them, and work and find something that works good in your gun. That's kind of why I don't do it. I may do some with cast bullets, stuff they can shoot, conversions. Yeah, that one I might revisit because those are fun. Yeah, I've seen a lot of block. No, I didn't use an 8x56 clip. I used a solid-sided, expensive and rare 8x50 clip, and I tried cutting it and bending it. Went through forums for deals. Yeah, it's true. I mean, going back and checking it. Yeah, so again, like I said, guys, and nobody's commented whether or not on the live with the other two Mil-surp channels, I haven't contacted Readiness Review, but I am in contact with the battlefield curator. He's more or less agreed to come on and field questions or get in a discussion like this about, mill surplus and the topic of it. Because he does a lot of other things that I kind of don't cover, um, and both of them do. Readiness Review, he's down there doing, like somebody here suggested, all of these more common guns. The thing is, when I was younger, I owned all those weapons. I fired hundreds and hundreds of rounds through them, and like any decent Mauser with a decent barrel and shit, you aim, you shoot, you hit the target. Okay, you do that 800, 900 times. Let me get something different. Okay, and all of those cartridges, all those military cartridges are good. Even Argentine cartridge, all those different things that Mauser, anything Mauser come up with, 7mm, 6.5 by 55, all of those cartridges are fantastic. They're very easy to reload for. The brass used to be available pretty much, and the bullets. It's the Carcano and the M95s use a bizarre diameter bullet. Okay. But every other 6.5, be it the Dutch, the Jap, the Swedish, whatever, they all use a common 264 diameter bullet. Okay. And maybe you can get a cast bullet a couple thousandths bigger, 265, 266, and you got a winner. You got something that you can work up a load and be super accurate. And it used to be cheap, but lead is not cheap, and nobody produces lead anymore in the United States of America. And half the shit you buy, paying $3 a pound, don't cast a bullet with a goddamn because it's got zinc or something in it. You know, hell, the pure lead I buy from some, I can't cast a bullet for a black powder gun. See you doing a video with them because yeah, some people, they don't want to hand load. The reason I would hand load is because I always got better accuracy out of my mill surplus guns with my hand loads than with old surplus ammo. Okay, and that's why I started doing this back when I was 16 years old. I just didn't have the money to buy tons of stuff, and people were unscrupulous. You buy military surplus, some of the stuff was outright dangerous, and it wasn't that old either. Okay, there was a lot of crap floating around. So that's why I found examples with nice bores. It took a little bit longer to find nice mill surplus guns with a nice clean mint like bore, or one that wasn't black or pitted or anything. Matter of fact, I wouldn't buy a military gun if the bore was not in excellent condition or better. Okay, I'd pass on them. There were a ton of guns when they're dark, pitted. I wouldn't even buy them back then. It wasn't worth wasting my money. See, I don't shoot surplus ammo anymore. I haven't bought any in a while. If I do buy anything, it would be either the 7.62 by 54, because it's pretty much modern. 8mm, even the stuff I bought years ago, that's deteriorating. I don't know if anyone's really made any current 8mm. Or a lot of the surplus you find, there's a reason it's been lingering for 30 years is the stuff was crap to begin with. And now after 30, 40 years, it's really garbage. I'd rather and for the amount of shooting that I do, I'd rather load 40, 50 rounds on the bench and shoot something in an 8 millimeter or the Argentine or the 303. Actually, I sold all my surplus 303 ammo to a guy, and I got brass out in the garage. And I got the bullets, soft points and normal ones. And if I shoot like one of my 303s or something, or my 6.5 Swedish, I just load up the ammo and shoot them. And, I can make videos of me shooting the reloads and show you how accurate the guns are. Of course, then again, when I do that, there are people that comment that the gun should be more accurate than how I'm shooting. I kind of don't understand that comment, but, must be that I'm not doing my part, because the gun should be way more accurate than what's being demonstrated there. Good point on load development. Okay. Like, for example, no one I know makes any 9mm Mac components. That's not true. Starline makes the brass, and Barry's bullet makes a plated bullet. That's what I load it with. Matter of fact, I'm going to do that soon here. And I think you could still get Mac brass from Starline. When you buy from Starline direct, you got to buy like 250, 500, or 1,000. But yeah, I can do the Mac. Mac's easy, man. Just use Bullseye. I mean, it's good. Yeah, see, it's hard to reload. I mean, that's why I like to reload. Matter of fact, after I get done fooling around with some of this stuff, I will do a Mac video. I think I did one for 380 and my 9mm pet load that I do. And that's, again, with the membership. And that video, I just tell you what the components are. I mean, I talk about reloading, and some of these people, it's like you got to sit there and show them. I size the brass. I prime the brass. I expand the case mouth. I charge the case. And the guy goes, "You're not making an actual reloading video." Well, if you don't know the basic steps of reloading a pistol cartridge, that's why all I got to tell you is I use this bullet with this powder, and range brass is just mixed brass of different manufacturers with this primer, and put X amount of powder in there, seat it, crimp it. Generally all my handgun loading, I use lead dies anyway, and that's it. Really, but I mean, people have complained that they don't see me sizing a case, priming a case, and that's not a reloading video. I guess it's not. Okay. Yep, spam cans. And the thing is, that ammunition wasn't that old. That ammunition you were getting in them cans wasn't quite 20 years old. And you can go out and shoot all day long a high power rifle for pennies. Okay, those days are gone. And you don't see any of the like 7.5 French. You see any surplus ammo like that coming in? Half that stuff out of Syria, sometimes you get a batch that was misfire and half bad, and some of it was good. But then again, I'm going back 30 years ago, and I still see some of that ammo floating around. I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole. And 7.5 French is just as easy to reload. You could get a set of lead eyes for $30. It's a 30 caliber bullet. It's just like loading a 308. It's very simple. And any load, any kind of light load, because it uses a 129 grain, like a 130 grain bullet or something. Why the French did that, I don't know. But I load 100.5 in them, and it's just like simple, very basic reloading, and you get good results. With the same powders that work well in a 308. And those rifles are quite accurate, but I would not shoot any surplus ammo in the crap. I found some of it. I sold it to some people that wanted it. It's more surplus ammo, especially when you're getting over 40 years. It should be more of a collector's item than actually to be used. One thing short. Okay, so the big question is, would you guys really like to see some of these other guys from Mil-surp channels come to a live talk? That's kind of one of the other things. It's under the Mil-surp umbrella. Um, like I said, I have been approached by one person. I've been trying to contact another person as per suggestions from my subscribers to bring these other people that have, and they, I know you're asking me about all those other calibers. These fellows work more with that than I do. So we'd have some guests here that are more active in these more modern fields, or like 303s and this and that. Would you guys like for me to work with these people? And I will give you an advance notice, and we'll set it up to where you will know weeks in advance before I'm going to have guests come on a live chat to talk about this hobby and this there, and get it, some opinions other than mine. Because like people are saying, why don't you do this and that? Because I kind of just don't feel like it. I've done it, I've shot them. To me, it's nothing. I like trying more of a challenge to get accuracy out of something you can't find. Okay, so let's see. Stocks. Yes, okay, so I got a yes. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to try to get some other guys out here to kind of broaden it. They do work more in fields or areas where I just kind of glance over, and they're more into it, and they're more current what is going on and what's out there. Okay, in terms of all of this, in terms of the guns, in terms of the ammunition, and what surplus is available. Like I said, I very rarely buy any surplus ammo anymore. And really, you can't find a lot of stuff that's coming out. You know, I haven't even looked. Yes, that's true. He just uploaded a CMP video. I have one gun I bought years ago. I got an M1 Garand I bought from CMP. It used to be called the DCM when I bought it, Director of Civilian Marksmanship. Uh, yeah, I'm surprised them. Well, I haven't talked to them fellows much. I haven't gotten uh, in touch with them. When I was doing this on a regular basis, I would just send them an email and say, "Hey, it's Sunday. You guys want to come out?" And so if they weren't doing anything, and it was winter, they'd be on. Uh, I'm surprised they haven't popped up on this. Generally, when I go live, they'll swing by, make a comment, and leave. So who knows? There could be. I think it's been snowing up there, something horrible, because Rappin' Rodney's been showing a lot of pictures. They're in the middle of a winter freeze up there. So them fellows are probably out shoveling snow and cutting firewood and uh, warding off the wolves at the doors, type of shit. Um, but Gun Geek has put out some videos here recently. I've seen that. Never had a grand in 308. Goo 98. I don't know. I never conversed much with him. Iraqi vet. He works down there in that gun shop. And some of them guys, well, because they're businesses. I'm not a business. See, that's why when everybody was asking like full 30 or something, I guess you got to be invited to that. And a lot of that is kind of inner business stuff. Because I think the Gun Geek was asking him years ago to do some collaborations on that, and the guy would never answer him back. And he really doesn't give a lot of shout outs either. I just kind of stopped watching him. He does his gun gripes and has his thing, and they go and track the laws and that, and something like that. They'd fry your brain. I tried keeping up with these gun laws with a damn pistol braces and stuff. And I mean, it just one thing to the other. It's all just an appeal and this and injunction and crap. And it all ends up being thrown out of court in the end anyway, after a year and a half of nonsense. You know, what's the oldest gun in my collection? I don't remember anymore. I got some repros that are old, but oldest weapon in a collection that's an actual one. Probably, I'm going to say, I have a couple of them Austrian. I have that one Austrian chamber guns. They were the 1848 versions that were 2 blocks and then converted in Belgium to percussion. I got a Garibaldi rifle in that. Those are probably the two oldest that I have, and I can shoot them. So they were probably made in the 1840s, late 1840s, 1850s, and converted, used in the Civil War. So right off the top of my head, I'm going to say that's it. I had some old Remington guns that may have been from the 1870s or something, but those are gone. Yeah, those are going to be the oldest original guns I have. I have a couple reproduction matchlocks that go back to the 1500s, but if you were thinking of actual old guns, those are the ones. All right, let's look. Okay. Well, yeah, he did for a while there. I don't know if that ever. He was in a hospital for a while. He disappeared last year for a bit, and they did end up saying that, and he did say he had some issues and was hospitalized. Okay, my first grand SOG Winchester worked pretty well. Yeah. Oh, here we go. Teleosaurus. All right, man. But yeah, I'm good. That rotor cup, rotor cup crap. A lot of them fellows out on the trap range had that, and that does put a damper on your shooting sports. Pro tip: if you put out ketchup, fried taters. Yeah, it's around 308. See, I'd never had the MOS converted. MOS 36. Yeah, I got a bunch of them. I should, but when the weather's nicer and I can get out and shoot them, I might bring them out. There was a problem. Somebody broke was the screw that holds the firing pin in the rotary breech. It was broke off, and someone tried drilling it and went off center. So I had half a thing in there, and I had to re-drill it out, re-tap it. But I got that fixed, and that gun's running now. It was just a really difficult machining issue to do that. Martini Henry, I've shot some of those. I did make a load. They do shoot. The one that I bought from IMA had foregrip was rotted. The minute I shot it, that whole thing shattered and come loose. So I either have to restock that or repair that dry rotted out stock. The other one I bought, I think I paid $100 more and bought it on an auction, and it's from wherever the hell, Nepal, but it's in a lot better shape. I won it at an auction. That's the one I was shooting. I might get that back up together again too. That's a Martini Henry's got its own thing about reloading, other than just, ooh, I made the brass from the shotgun shell and fire it. And there are very few people out there that tune them guns in and got them to shoot where they shot well. There was one guy on a forum did it. He shot them with black powder up 200-300 yards, and I mean, he had some fantastic results. But he never made a video on. Some people just don't make videos. Now I got to I think I got one made by Rossi, Colt Lightning, in 45 Colt. I found a bunch of brass and some bullets. I should load up some of that, take them old guns out. Yeah, I'm glad you did that, because a lot of people call. That's another thing. Somebody sends me an email. I want to buy a Verndl rifle. And it's like, go look, but the specification is he doesn't want to pay the standard price, tells me where he lives and says, I want a Verndl rifle. Where can I buy one? Well, I really don't know every regional gun shop. Okay. And that's a tall order. That's something you get, okay, at an auction or something. I'm not going to be able to tell you, well, if you go to this city 20 miles from where you live, you can find a Verndl and only pay $300 for it or something. I mean, I don't. That's why I don't like answering a lot of emails. What's your favorite surplus gun and why? Okay, surplus gun and why? Really? Well, really, I don't have a favorite anything. Okay, favorite gun. The reason I can't answer that is I do not look at the gun as, well, I like this for this reason. Okay, I take whatever I have at hand, like the Carcanos, and I learn to shoot the Carcano accurately. Okay, for all its design shortcomings. So I really don't have a favorite surplus gun. Any of them I shoot. And the reason a lot of the Mausers and that, because when the prices started getting on, I can shoot them very well. I can shoot KR98s. I've had some that shoot better than any gun that comes out of any sporting or hunting rifle that you can get your hands on. I've had a lot of old Mil-surp guns that outperform like an $800,000 rifle with iron sight. Okay, so Really can't answer that. Hand gnome, yes, Teleosphorus. I thought about that. Like hand cannon, or what's that early one? It's just like a iron pipe with the barrel and then that hook where you'd hang it over the wall gun. You know, is that the earliest firearm they ever found somewhere in England like that? I believe. There's no wood. It was all made out of metal or something. But yeah, hand gnome. I was thinking of maybe machining one. I might carve one up out of brass or something. I know you got several of them. I don't even know if they make them anymore. The hand gnome. People are lazy. They end up overpaying. Yeah. I mean, if you work at, like everyone's saying, you know, the prices of surplus guns are high. Well, you know, don't pay it. Eventually, once these people stand around for a year or two trying to sell this gun, the prices are going to come down. You know, that's the thing. I knew that'd be Mosin's for me. Okay. You go, Mauser. I mean, all them guns are good. I shoot all of them real good. Spanish guns, I haven't really fired them much because most of them are still set at, it's kind of like the Yugos, they're set at 300 meters. You're going to shoot higher than hell. And the Spanish guns, the Spaniards wore them damn things out. It's very hard to find a good Spanish gun with a shootable bore that isn't worn right out. Okay. It's difficult to find any of those Spanish Mausers that are in good shooting condition. You know, this guy had one, it was a 1901 carbine or something, like rare gun. I looked down the barrel, I didn't even have to slug it. I could tell you the rifling was about a thousandth or maybe a thousandth and a half deep. That's how shot out this thing was. And kind of like the blind sniper, you take a bullet, go and it drop, and it'll drop right through the barrel, you know. One of those things. Well, all right, guys. So it looks like what we're going to do, we had a good turnout today, about 30 or so people, had good discussion. Everything went smoothly. I will work with these other, I know, you know, like I said, the battlefield curator fella, he approached me. He wants to do this. So we are going to work together. I will get back in touch with him. I'll have him for a live session. He kind of agreed to that. We're going to work out the details between the two of us. So don't be impatient. And probably I'm still going to try to contact, or if any of you guys are in contact with Readiness Review, and down in the description box, because this will be up as a video, I guess, after I stop the stream, there will be at the bottom links to, if you don't know them, Battlefield Curator and Readiness Review. They're pretty popular guys. A lot of people, if you're in the Mil-surp, you should know about their channels. And there'll be a link to become a member. And that way it'll get you into the videos all about the reloading that I'm going to start doing a little bit more intensely here in the future. And that's about where we go. And I mean, I'd like to thank you guys for your input. I'd like to thank you guys. You know, a lot of you that are trading in Mil-surp, you've made comments and explained to us how things are. Because like I said, at this point in time, I really have not looked to acquire anything more in terms of firearms from Mil-surp. About the only gun that tempted me was a Ruger Mark IV or something, 75-year anniversary, something along them lines. I really don't need it. I had my Ruger pistol. I must have shot 50,000 rounds out of the thing before I sold it. just didn't shoot it anymore. And really, 22 pistols. I do shoot them on occasion, but not enough to warrant getting a new one. I don't know, something like that. But I really haven't. And I was discussing that with another friend of mine. We really can't find anything out there reasonable. Okay. In terms of the Mil-surplus guns, even the more current ones, like your Yugos and that, because he bought, I forget what he bought, a Yugoslavian or something, Mauser he bought a few years ago. Been pretty worn out. And he's been trying to soak all the oil out of stock, refinish it, clean up the rust and stuff on it. And he shoots it, and he says it shoots fairly well. But, he goes, can you find anything for like $300? Or I said, you're looking, when I went to the gun shows, and honestly, the guy, he does have good stuff. He doesn't have crap up there. He doesn't have sawed up stuff or shit with rusted out barrels. But you ain't touching nothing on his table for less than $700. Okay. All right. So, and if you can find it, you're finding less and less Mil-surplus available at gun shows, scattered, but not like these guys you'd go and they'd have table and table, with like 20 different types of guns. That's also getting hard to find also. Okay. So yeah, we're going to do that. And Hackenbush. Yeah, I can't even pronounce that, Teleoceras. Their version of the Hanganome, yeah. But something to look into. They've always amused me. So that's about it, guys. I thank you all for coming out. I thank you for your input in here. It was a good discussion. And this will be up, like as a video. And people will be able to see it. So it is constructive. And I'll work on having some guests and making things a tad bit more interesting and open up the field of discussion. All right, gentlemen, have a good afternoon.